And we are live. All right, welcome back to Two Dudes Talking Motorcycles. I am one of the dudes, and my name is Gleb.
I am the other one of the dudes. My name is Mitch.
And you can find us on social media, and I'm on Instagram as Gleb Lapham.
I am Meet 2D Beach on Instagram.
So be sure to follow us. We post our own stuff on there as well. And we also have our
Thank you.
Instagram for the podcast, and that's tdtmotorcycles at tdtmotorcycles. And find that on Instagram. It's still a work in progress. We don't really have much content on there.
Or no content.
Yeah.
And we just launched this week, so we'll get that set up. But yeah, we'll get some traction there.
We'll try to post either, we're still kind of working on a strategy. So give us a... Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. You understand. Understand. Anyways, yeah, welcome back, and thank you again for tuning in. We keep getting more and more listeners, and that makes us very happy. We also had some...
It's the coolest thing, honestly.
We also had some emails come in with people saying some good stuff about us. And Mitch, you wanted to share one of the reviews we got, right?
Yeah, I was thinking of doing it as we wrapped up, but we can go over that now.
Okay.
Yeah. You said one of the reviews, or two? We got two reviews this last week that we could...
just give them a brief. Yeah, let's just do a brief.
No, Deadeye Dick 13. Thank you so much for your comment. Listen to a lot of podcasts, and this is very entertaining and enjoyable. Thank you. It's actually really cool. Hearing that.
So good to hear.
And then I got Dubs CP4. I am new to serious riding, and I needed information on how to be safe, comfortable, what money to spend on what. In the first 5 episodes, I had enough information to be entirely confident in my new motorcycle commute. These guys know their stuff. They ride new and different motorcycles, and the content stretches across all types of riding, except maybe not Harleys. Thank you. That's awesome. Again,
yeah, thank you so much.
I'm really glad that we can just put that out there, and we will and do want to try Harleys.
Yeah, we'll get to a Harley one day.
One of these days. Yeah.
We just don't have any connections yet at any local Harley dealers, but yeah, we'll hopefully get there one day. We also had a couple of emails. We won't share the full name here, but Philip said, he just thank you for letting us know that you're liking the podcast. He's also a fellow ADV rider. And thank you so much for listening. And we also had another...
is that Derek? Right?
Yeah, Derek asking us some questions about riding, which we actually felt like it would be a great topic for a future episode.
Yeah.
But he had just some advice about had some questions about starting out or starting to ride after the motorcycle safety course. Yeah. So how it feels to get on bigger and bigger roads and stuff. And if we felt that would be a great topic for a separate episode.
There's so much to go over for that, in both of our different experiences.
Yeah.
And I think, so we'll get
save
there.
that. But Derek, thank you for the suggestion. We're definitely going to do that in the future. So today we are going to be talking about the DGR, or the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. And for those of you that do not know, it is a ride that happens usually in May of every year, and it's sponsored by Triumph.
There's a few other partnerships in there. There's ELF, or ELF, and Movember, and there's a couple others. I think Hedon does it.
Okay.
Hedon. I don't know how they say it.
And it's basically it's to raise awareness for men's health. So for all types of issues, men's mental health, prostate health, and all these kinds of things, to raise awareness for them, and to raise awareness of them, and also help raise money to for research, for donation, for research and things like that, for prostate cancer, mental health, and all those kinds of things. So it's a really cool program and a really cool organization.
Yeah. Now, so I've done 3 rides since I've started riding. Gleb, I don't think you've had the opportunity yet.
I have not, because I wasn't able to make it to last minute.
Yeah. Little accident there.
Yeah. Not bike related, but I just couldn't make it. So I'm definitely going to go this year, and I'm really looking forward to that. But before we jump into that, let's cover some quick motorcycle related news. So we got a couple of stories, and I thought the most interesting one was since last episode we talked about the motorcycle technology. So I saw this really cool article on Rider Mag, and they were talking about Yamaha is basically developing a prototype to basically make the bike stand up on its own at low speeds, or even when it's standing still. And I have a quote here from the article, and it says the dynamics of the process at the drive actuator has been, So the system is called Advanced Motorcycle Stabilization Assist System, or AMSAS.
AMSAS. We'll call that.
And this is the way to describe the dynamics of the process of the drive actuator has been compared with the holding a broom upside down on your palm, combined with the idea of the minute steering adjustments required to keep a bicycle upright when standing still without pedaling. And I thought...
I was just going to say, so hearing that, it sounds like, when you're going slower, you start to wobble your front wheel back and forth.
Yeah, it's basically doing that for you.
Yeah, so you have to have on peak balance, on point balance, and then also keep friction going, for that. But
and if you see like some road bicyclists on the road and stuff, instead of putting their foot down, they kind of stand up on their pedals and kind of wiggle the bike back and forth to keep that balance. And this is basically, from what I understood, is how the system is basically what it's doing, except it's using motors on both the wheel and an actuator on the steering to do that. And it does it. And Yamaha's whole idea is to basically use technology, skill, and connectivity to essentially help reduce motorcycle accidents, especially at low speeds. And it was cool because they described it in the article that it does not require modifications to the frame. It's something you can add to current frames on there. It uses 6-axis IMU, and the prototype vehicle that they have can move at walking speed without tipping over, which is kind of cool.
It's really cool. And Yamaha, this whole we always bump a mic every episode.
Sorry.
So, that's me. I remember watching videos from years ago that Yamaha was working on the same thing for a long time, and they had a little baby prototype of some kind, and but it was hand motioned or voice control that the guy beckoned it, and and it would it wobbled its way over. I mean, but it wasn't stable. It was very much it had to sweep back and forth.
Very interesting.
But he also put his hand up and the bike stopped. I don't know if that was just show. I don't.
Yeah.
But no, it was cool.
That's cool.
I don't. Do you think there's practicality in this, for the everyday rider? If that ever became would you tack on an additional price out of your pocket if that was a feature?
I personally would not, but I could see it being something that if they can, because we do have some pictures of it, or I don't have any pictures pulled up, and I'm not going to do that while we're recording. But judging by the picture, it's kind of a bulky looking system that adds onto the wheel. I'm not sure what the actuator for the handlebars looks like, or for the steering column, or whatever it's called in the motorcycle. I can never remember.
Yeah.
Of how it looks, but it looks a little bulky and stuff. But I could see if it could be shrunken down. I could see it being very useful for new riders or beginner riders, because those slow speeds can be very intimidating, because sometimes you feel like your bike is almost going to tip over.
Well, the slower you're going or not going, the heavier your bike is due to physics and your inertia and everything.
So until you learn counterbalance and all those things, I feel like it could be a kind of a useful system on beginner bikes, or if someone doesn't feel as confident.
Yeah.
Or, and I just barely thought of this, or if you're not as physically able to hold your bike up.
Oh, there's that. Yeah.
Maybe this system can help you still ride without having to put your full weight on a bad leg, or if you have muscle issues or something like that prevents you from being able to fully hold up the bike.
Or if they even get that get the technology down pat, we've mentioned it before, height on motorcycles.
Yeah.
For the vertically challenged riders, maybe that could just kind of help them.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily keep them upright the entire time, but at least helping assist with the weight.
Yeah, help bring the bike back up, because not every bike has electronic suspension that magically lowers itself unless you spend 25 grand on one.
Yeah.
And then for the other bit of news, we have CF Moto. We haven't talked about them too much on the podcast, because they're kind of more emerging in the US market as a Chinese brand. But I think they have partnerships with KTM now, and I think they own Benelli motorcycles from Italy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So very big over in Asia and stuff, kind of starting to emerge into the US market. But what's cool about them is they have a very low entry point, very low price points for fairly reasonably well featured bikes. And this one's the CF Moto 450 SS. So it's a 450cc engine. It's got 50 horsepower, 28 pound-feet of torque.
Now, is that a sport bike, or is that
It is a sport bike, okay, so it is a very aggressive, forward-leaning fully fared sport bike and stuff. But the big thing is that starts at $5,500. So
that's not bad.
That's a very low entry point. I think
450.
Yeah, it comes with a single disc 320 millimeter Brembo brakes up front, and 220 millimeter rear brakes. Non-adjustable suspension, 5-inch TFT with Bluetooth connectivity.
That's something for that price range. Yeah, I wouldn't expect really adjustable suspension on. Yeah, in that price range.
But I feel like $5,500 for a brand new bike is a very accessible and easy entry point for someone who's getting into motorcycles.
Do we have a picture of that, or do we not get that? Or?
I do have a picture. Let me see if I can.
Oh, yeah, we weren't going to pull pictures. If you don't have it.
Yeah, you know what? So we'll add it in post.
Oh, we have an Instagram now.
Yeah.
We can put it on the Instagram.
So basically the CF Moto, it's a sports bike. It looks like a sports bike. It's very aggressive position. But I think the biggest thing is that entry point. And, me and you both agree having a motorcycle is better than no motorcycle. So if this helps someone that's brand new get a motorcycle, that's all great.
Yeah. Or, even if you're interested in it, but you don't want to spend a buttload of money.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this could be a good way to kind of dip your toes into it. And I've never ridden or touched a CF motorbike, so I can't really speak for their build quality and stuff.
I have zero input.
But it is a low priced bike, so you kind of have to. No, there's going to be too high of expectations.
There's going to be some concessions, I'm sure. So,
but I still think it's kind of great to see these cheaper bikes,
more approachable,
kind of lower the barrier for entry into motorcycling.
Yeah.
And then lastly, because we're talking about the DGR today, Triumph announced the T120 Bonneville DGR edition.
Oh.
So it has a kind of this black and white, black and silver-ish paint job with gold stripes and gold lettering for the DGR. And if you're familiar with Triumph's modern classic bikes, they're absolutely beautiful. And every year they release these special edition bikes, and they just look phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, call me biased because I know I am, especially when it comes to Triumphs, but those Bonneville engines are just everything about the Bonnevilles, I don't think there's been a single year in history where they haven't looked phenomenal.
Yeah, they are beautiful and fantastic looking bikes, and I very much want one.
Yeah. And I already have a Bonneville engine on the Scrambler, but I want a T120 too. So I have a problem.
So that's it for the news. So let's jump into our main topic, which is the DGR. And since you're a bit more familiar with it than I am, I'll let you explain, kind of go into.
Yeah, I'll just go over some just the baseline information and what it was like for my first ride, and since you haven't been to one, and what it's done for me a little bit without getting too personal or deep, but it was it was a good time. But anyway, the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, it was actually started in Australia by a man named Mark Hawa. That was in 2012. He got the idea from Mad Men, the show. It was very dapper and fancy. You know?
Very cool.
Yeah, but he thought that it would be a good theme for a sport or activity that, it says, from their side, they say it's something that's typically more isolating riding because it is solo, just you, unless you have but even if you're with somebody, you're in your helmet, you're in your head.
Yeah.
But he thought it was a way to bring people together, and then looks like, getting dressed up and fancy and treating yourself, would be a good way to bring people together. Yeah. Just give yourself some worth, and connect some motorcyclists who have something in common. Oh, I love classic and modern classic motorcycles. I can put on my best suit and, twirl my mustache with wax and get out there, But they have raised over, I think, let's see, it was, $37.5 million with over 340,000 riders for classic and vintage. I don't know because there's, in my experience, other people besides classic and vintage have shown up for rides.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's including all total, but maybe there's more. And that's 121 countries around the entire world participate in this activity, all in one day, barring local weather.
Yeah.
Which happened these last 2 years for Utah. So
we had a bit of unpredictable weather lately.
But and just to give you an idea how much it's grown. So like I said, it was started in 2012. They started with a couple thousand riders, 3,000 riders, and that was across 64 cities. So by cities, I'm guessing I don't know if Australia has 64 cities or if that's worldwide. I don't know, but
I'm pretty sure they have 64 cities. How big they are was a different kind of question.
So I don't know if that was restricted to their continent or,
I could see it being worldwide.
Okay.
Counting like major cities and stuff like that.
But so we started with 3,000 riders worldwide. We'll just say that 3,000 riders. Then into 2022, since we haven't had the 2023, that has brought forward now 94,000 riders. So
wow.
10 years, 2012, 2022, you're having a jump from 3,000 riders to 94,000 riders, which is just, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's a lot.
That's a lot of riders. And it's,
it's nuts. And then they've also sent in 2022, this is just 2022, they raised $6 million, a little over $6 million.
Very cool.
And there was 804 cities worldwide with 101 countries. So I think that might have been because on the 2012 one, it doesn't list countries. So it actually just distinguishes that there was 101 countries where that got that from. So it was just
very cool.
Yeah. And just for my notes here, also 2022 was also the first year of returning to full scale riding events from the pandemic and all that stuff. So it was really cool.
I missed it.
You did, but you also took a big hit on that.
Yeah. We are planning on doing the ride, and the reason we decided to do this episode for this time is because the ride is currently weather pending is scheduled, at least here in Salt Lake, for May 21st.
Yep.
And it is a ride, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, it is to raise awareness for men's health, men's mental health, and to raise money to donate to cancer research, mental health research, like all those, all sorts of different causes that deal with men's health or just health in general.
Yeah, and like, I hate to say it, and not obviously this is not all charities, but throughout, as we've seen events and stuff, you do have to be kind of, it's smart to research your charities that you're giving your money to, for these causes that you believe in. And the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride is 100% qualified, verified. Like what exactly they do to raise awareness and help for like prostate cancer. They raise money for clinicals as well as biomedical research. So it's actually cool. Reaching out to like make a difference in and considering
that's
lives.
One of like the biggest health risks adult men face, especially older adult men. I think it's really cool that there's an organization that's helping raise money and bring awareness to it. And I love that.
Yeah, and a lot of that works through Movember from there too. So on the men's mental health side of things, they fund worldwide programs to bring riders together to like promote connection among riders.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's and here's the cool thing with the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, you can check out their Instagram or their page. It's not just a man activity, a male activity. They actually use the term gentle folk. Anybody can participate in this, and if you have somebody you care about, and And
I've seen plenty of since I haven't participated yet, but on Instagram and stuff, every year it happens, and I was very jealous I wasn't able to make it last year. There's plenty of women riders and plenty of other riders and stuff. Families that join and all ride together, put on some dapper clothes, hop on their bike, whether it's classic or not. And just ride with a bunch of fellow riders. And I absolutely love seeing this kind of sense of community. And it's something that motorcycle is giving me in general, because since I got my bike, I've met so many cool people. We started hanging out.
I know, yeah.
Since we got our bikes, and we have our little rider group here in Utah that we hang out with and stuff and keep up with. So it's really cool to have this kind of like whether it's a big giant group that you ride with or just a small tight knit group, it still gives you a sense of like community. It gives you gives you like some people and friends that have like something in common. And I feel like everyone, even if you're the most introverted person, it's still nice to have people to talk to once in a while and hang out
and
with.
Just kind of like be around, like even if if you're not the most like social person or whatnot, just to be in your community, like
exactly,
you're just kind of knowing that you're not alone, and it's really cool. For me, I guess for both of us, we started riding during the pandemic in 2020. I'm sure everybody knows that was very isolating for a lot of people.
Very isolating, and
so that's
motorcycling. It's actually a decent activity for that, considering you have to socially
no, and that's
from everyone.
Like it was crazy, like what kind of timing that turned out. Because even before I got a bike, I was pretty isolated just with like my job schedule and everything from there. And then on top of that, then the pandemic hit, and then I got a bike, and it was actually my it's related to the DGR. My very first ride out of my neighborhood, like once I was comfortable enough to actually like leave my back roads and stuff and get her out on the town, I stopped at a coffee shop and I met a small group of riders and we talked and exchanged numbers and we went on a ride. They actually helped me go on my first canyon ride because I was nervous for that.
Really?
So I actually had like a group of people like
that
I could obviously ride your own ride, and they were great.
That is awesome.
It was a blast.
That makes me feel happy.
You really do find that sense of community. The first ride I went on, I met like one or two guys from our group, and the next year I saw them again, and then like we realized like, you guys want to do this more than once a year?
Yeah.
So let's get together every week and ride.
And now we do.
Yeah, now we do.
During the summer, pretty much every week we go out and ride and grab some food, and I love it. I look forward to it. It's such a great time, and I'm very much looking forward to the DGR this year.
Yeah.
To meet more people, because I'm fairly extroverted and I love meeting new people.
Yeah.
And it just looks like it'd be such a fun time to see a bunch of different bikes and hang out with people that share your hobbies and your interests. And yeah, I'm very excited for it. And because it supports a good cause and brings us like sense of community, I think it'd be a really awesome event.
No, and it is a good cause. Like it raises like some like when we say awareness, like it's just I guess the way I'd put it is that it just feels like it feels like you're giving back into the community too by participating in this ride. It's like, hey, like we're all aware of these issues that we all face. We don't know exactly what they are, but like we're not alone.
Yeah.
And on DGR's website too, they even have like steps for like some like suicide prevention stuff if that's something that's facing you in your life,
or somebody
yeah. And if you've lost people to that too, like it's just something that you can kind of be like, hey, like we can be better, we can help stop this other stuff. But it's phenomenal. You guys, anybody should just go sign up. It's free. There's no sign up fees. All you're doing is raising money for the cause, and then you're going on a fun ride. So
when you first went, we'll stick with last year because that was kind of like the full size official one. Did they do one in 2021?
They did in 2021. It was pretty big.
Was it pretty big?
Yeah, it was pretty big.
And that one was like an official like sanctioned event and stuff versus like in 2020 where it was just kind of like,
it was like more or less sanctioned.
Yeah.
So, but it was, we had like maybe 12 people for that, but
so for your first time, what kind of did you expect going in? And what did you feel coming like after it was done? So
that's the funny thing, and that's why I think it's a good thing that we're doing this. I bumped my mic again. I think I'm gonna but no. I think it's good that we're doing this episode for this, because when I started it, I had no idea. I had no idea what the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride was. I was new to motorcycles, and pretty much every person I've met, and even a lot of motorcyclists I've met, they still don't know what it is. I think it's getting bigger. I think it's been growing over time, especially like in these last 2 years. I think more people do know about it. But yeah, I had no idea. I didn't know what to expect. I asked those people I met on that first ride outside my neighborhood. They invited me.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, and I got on and just went. I didn't really know what to get for it. They said, "Oh, dress nice." Like, well, I still want to be at GAT, so I wore all my gear. I just put on a button-up shirt with my riding jeans before they were all scuffed from dirt and stuff. I didn't know what to expect. It was only a few people. We rode around the Capitol and got some food after. They had a photographer there to take pictures.
That's cool. Very cool.
It was really cool. I was very much in love with the event from there. It's like, oh man, I'll do this again.
Yeah.
Sure enough, 2021 comes and it's even bigger. And it was that was the year that we kind of got everybody in our group together at first.
Okay.
So it was great. But like you said, you really do just end up meeting some good people, and it wasn't like, it was just like a spur of the moment. Like as the ride wrapped up, they just said like, "Do you guys want to ride more?" I'm like,
yeah,
yes, we all do. Like, let's go. And,
oh, that's great.
I've made some great friends from it, and like we talk about motorcycles, and we're some of them, like, we're pretty honest with each other. There's some stuff going on because we know what we're riding for.
Yeah.
And how we got started as a group and friends.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. And that's kind of like what I was hoping to hear, really, is that kind of gives you that sense of community, sense of belonging.
Yeah. And
sense of connection, like-minded people, like-minded individuals.
I did want to mention,
that's great.
I did want to mention too, like with it, because, you know, like when the notes mentioned that, you know, it's a way to bring like an isolating event or activity to bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
It was that way, you know, but like I think motorcycling was like the perfect activity for 2020 in the pandemic.
It really was. I mean, even though they did say like stay home in order to keep the hospitals, you know, from having extra injured people and stuff like that. But I personally am not the kind of person that sits at home for too long.
I go nuts in the winter.
I start to get really antsy.
And what happens if I stay at home in the winter? We start a podcast.
That's true. That's true. I go snowboarding, so I still have some kind of outlet.
Yeah.
But yeah, and during 2020, I got my first motorcycle, and that helped me a lot. To, you know, it let me go out and do something, and while still being away from other people, because I didn't want to get sick.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get my parents sick or anything like that. And motorcycling was kind of great for that. And then we started hanging out, and then you introduced me to the guys you knew.
Yeah.
And we have this nice little group.
No, it was awesome. Like I just, for something that, you know, typically would be like very isolating, and it was the perfect activity. And if you think about it, like your helmet may not be an N95, but keep that visor down and that windshield down.
Yeah.
Windscreen, whatever.
We know what you're talking
Keep your
about.
helmet closed. That's keeping air droplets and all that stuff, you know, away. So.
And you're most likely just by yourself.
Yeah.
That's because that was my reason for getting a motorcycle. Is basically like, you know, I like road trips. I like driving around and stuff like that, but I wanted to do it in a more fun and interesting way. The motorcycle did for that. Plus that sense of adventure or sense of like openness that a motorcycle gives you.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
It's funny too, because it was like, I knew I wanted to get into motorcycling and try it out, you know. It's like, and I thought like, oh yeah, I'll have a bike. It's going to be just a fun little thing to do when I need to. And I had no idea it was going to be like, oh, this is like my identity now.
This is your life.
It's like, this isn't just a hobby. This is like my cause, you know, my purpose.
So with the DGR, I had a question in my head, but now I kind of forgot it. So I will try to remember it. But what was kind of, we may have to edit this part out. Just a little bit. This is very quiet.
This is kind of funny. Well, in the meantime, I would just say, like, I do wish we did have like a better recording setup, because I think this would have been a cool thing to bring on like the guys from the group to like.
Yeah, I think that would have been
do
great.
Almost like a panel podcast, you know, talk about it, because I know
one day
everyone,
it'd be cool to get there.
Yeah, because I know everyone who goes there, like they have a reason to go.
Yeah, you
know, so like, you know, the issues are near and dear to my heart as to what they're supporting, but it's it's I think it'd be cool to like get a little bit more perspective from the people we know.
And that's actually a good point, because if you've participated in the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, if you're a rider and you've participated, shoot us an email. Let us know what you experienced, or if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment below, because we love hearing your experiences. We love hearing from our listeners and them sharing. And
your comments or whatever you have would even just get other people to say like, hey, everyone does like this, you know. But it's a big event. Like it's funny how large of a global event it is, and how little like, oh, I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
And people who don't ride, I have to explain it to them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So
let me ask you this: if someone wants to participate in the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, what would be the first step, and how should they go about signing up for that?
Well, first you better have your endorsement in a motorcycle. You know,
that's a good first step.
First
you should definitely have an endorsement.
Yeah. So, you know, to ride motorcycles, you have to have a motorcycle. But no, you can just sign up for free at Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Actually, just hop over to my dashboard, because you upload a picture of yourself, you register what kind of bike you have, or you just select what kind of bike you have.
Yeah.
You're given your own link so people can donate to you to sponsor you. And all those funds go to Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, and like, you know, they're going to upkeep their organization, and then they're also going to be funding the causes that they stand for.
Very cool.
Actually, and they it's not a competition, but they do like recognize like the big contributors, you know. And
yeah, because you got recognized as a top contributor.
Yeah,
last year.
I was the second largest contributor last year for Salt Lake.
Yeah,
for the Salt Lake
very
chapter.
Cool.
And then because of that, that's why I was telling people like, okay, if I can get if I hit my goal, I was going to cut down to a mustache anyway, which I did because dapper. But because I hit my goal, I went and got this tattoo, which is like one of their symbols. It's the umbrella and the wrench cross.
That's very
cool. Like, okay, I hit my goal, so I'm going to get it to symbolize like the effort of it. So I got awesome. DGR ink on me, guys. That's what. So like that's what it means to me.
He's in the group now.
Yeah,
it's very cool. So signing up on the website, and you're not like you said, it's not. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to buy anything. You can if you want to. And like you said, all proceeds go to the DGR Foundation.
Oh, shoot.
And
I just got this hat today, but I have a DGR hat downstairs. Remember I bought that? That would have been a good theme to wear for the... Yeah, damn.
I did order their sticker pack or something from them.
Pins?
When I created my link. And I was like, yeah, I might as well order, and I'll put in some more money to donate and stuff like that.
And it's not just like once you're set up, it's like, okay, send your donation link wherever. They actually have like badges and like achievements for you to hit as you go. It's like one, you upload your profile picture, you make a personal donation, then you make a random donation. They have a button to click. You're just going to randomly donate to somebody.
That's very cool.
And then like you can have like your bars are set. You can set your personal goal that you want to hit for your funds. But then they have like a benchmarks, like you'll get a badge for if you raise $250 and then sharing your profile, uploading your pictures, and then hitting 1,000.
Yeah.
And then on top of that motorcycle you mentioned, the DGR T120 Bonneville, that's actually a prize this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Let's see. Let's get there because they actually have like tiered prizes for that one. Like last year was, I don't want to know. I actually don't know exactly which. Let's see, leaderboards right now. Even someone's already raised $7,000. The event's in a month and a few weeks.
It's very cool.
A little under 2 months now. But no, they're it's really cool. So, did you think of that question yet?
Yeah, my question was the one like, how do people that want to get into it like sign up and start?
Oh yeah,
writing that. So yeah, I did ask the question,
and I actually may have to correct myself. I don't know if that Bonneville's a prize because I'm pretty sure last year was like a grand prize, but they have like helmets and stuff you can get to, like custom made decorated helmets for DGR style and all that stuff.
Okay.
So
very cool.
We might be a little off on some of those facts, but like, but you get the gist of it. But they do like reward their people, and Triumph participates in this too. I don't know if I mentioned that part yet.
I don't think we have, but I did mention that they were a sponsor.
Yeah, and they're sponsors. They so Triumph takes a big part in this dapper stuff. You don't have to have a Triumph to ride in DGR though.
Yeah. You don't have to have a classic motorcycle.
I mean, like they say that's what they like gear toward, or like what the theme is, you know. But I think like, you know, I don't see any personally. I don't see a reason why someone shouldn't attend because they don't have a modern classic motorcycle. If you're dressing the part, you're showing up for the cause. That's my personal
Even
take.
If you're now dressing the part, probably, you know.
Yeah, like I mean, just do like a little bit, you know.
It might stand out a bit more, but
yeah, just engage with the activity and the people. You know, I'd say because I think as long as you're dressing you don't have to dress to the nines. You know, you know, button up shirt, like just put on your best stuff.
Yeah.
And head out. So they're huge on safety too. There's always a safety brief. You know, they talk about like reasons why this cause is important. So.
Can you talk a little bit about the safety brief and kind of what they go over that?
Well, there's a lot of it. You know, the one we're a part of is like guys like there is a risk to riding in a group.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. You know, so they'll go over like riding safe. We typically don't go on fast roads. It's a pretty small road, and especially because a lot of people aren't wearing like their full ATGAT because you are showing off your gear. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a predetermined route set by the ride captain. There is a ride captain who organizes it. From there, and there's like helmets. You have to have a helmet. You know, and like ride safe. That's like their big thing is just ride safe, ride safe, ride safe. So it's a big safety brief like that. The ride captain for us, like he said something along the lines of like, it's like, so, you know, ride your own ride, do what you want, but if you're not wearing a helmet, you're stupid.
Yeah.
And I stand by that. So
no, I would never ride without a helmet. Mm-mm. It's just I'm not willing to take that risk.
Way too risky.
Even if it doesn't match the rest of the outfit,
yeah.
I would still ride it. Or I would still wear it.
Yeah.
Or if you have a classic looking helmet, there you go. Make sure you wear that.
I really want to get like a 3/4 helmet just for the look. It's not the safest thing, but I really want one.
I would get one just for the ride.
Yeah, that's what I.
Gentleman's ride, and then that's it.
Yeah, right.
But I do like the look of it too, and I just have and seeing the pictures on Instagram and on YouTube of people doing the ride. I just absolutely love, although well dressed people like cruising along the street. And it just looks so cool. Like, I love that style. I love how it looks.
Yeah.
And it just makes me excited about riding a motorcycle. It's just so cool.
Oh, and I found it here too. They do have a style guide on the website if you're wondering like what the dress, I don't want to call it a dress code, but like what the theme, what they're going for is. So it's dapper, vintage, classic. They have a list of like type of bikes. I've never seen anyone kicked out for having something because again, I think it's the same thing. You're showing up for something, and but you just Google dapper too, and like how to dress and things like that.
Yeah.
And again, it's everybody. You don't have to be a man or male.
You have to be a gentleman. You can be a
gentle person, gentle folk.
person. Yep. Be anyone you want if you got a motorcycle and you know how to ride.
Yeah.
And you want to look very dapper.
Yeah. I think I did screw up. I don't know if they are doing prizes like giving away a bike this year.
Okay.
They did last year though. I'm like confident that they did last year.
It's all right.
Or 20. Yeah. So.
But they do recognize like top donors and stuff like that, because like you just showed there's a whole leaderboard of
and that's global and
stuff.
Like I think I don't even remember what somebody like. It was astonishing, like the level of funds like the top performer
very cool
ever did.
And I find that, and I want to just reiterate for those that are listening, is that you don't have to donate. You don't have to. I mean, we encourage you to donate whatever you can if you can.
It's charity.
It's charity.
Yeah.
But it's not like you have to like meet a certain milestone or really like put in that much effort into it. So it's not like don't hurt yourself financially just to participate in this, just to do this. But if you can donate, if you can do something, then I mean, I would personally encourage you to, but also like don't.
And like I can't speak for I've only participated in the Salt Lake ride, but it's and I would just throw it out there like with like any group you go on, just like if you show up somewhere, but there should be a safety briefing. I'm pretty sure there are rules that the captains have to follow and put out.
100%.
Because it does need to be controlled, and obviously it's kind of an oxymoron if you're going out on a ride for men's health and mental health, and then like somebody
gets hurt,
hurt or worse,
Definitely.
So, like,
we wouldn't want that. We don't want any riders getting hurt. And I feel like since it is a group activity, it might help if you have maybe a little bit of group riding experience and stuff.
Or like at the very least, like I was still pretty new, I got my bike in May, and like the year, I think it was like September, October when the ride I went on was like the unofficial, but like it was a lot of fun though. It was a great time. It was
and if you haven't ridden in a group, maybe you can look up just some basic group riding like tips and techniques on YouTube or online, just to make sure you're not in anybody's way, and so you know where you should position yourself.
And the Salt Lake crew is awesome. Like I've never had any problems with that in the times I've ridden. Everyone just knows, and they go over that in the safety brief. Ride staggered. Like
just keep your distance. Watch out for everyone
don't
else.
crowd up.
Yeah,
it's
very cool.
So they address all the safety concerns there. And I actually think like for the first ride, like if I'm remembering right, what it was is actually that I found out about the DGR through that ride during 2020, but it's like this isn't like an actual event, like this is just like that's just a ride that we participate in every year, and we just wanted to get together as a group. And then that's how I found out about it. And then 2021 2022 there was the actual
event. Very cool.
No, it was
I remember seeing your photos from last year, and
it was awesome.
So good. It looks so good. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Is there any other information you want to share for people? We do have our own dashboard set up and things like that.
Our own personal dashboards.
If you want to donate to
either
of us, or split the cost, or whoever, we're not competing about it.
It's not
it's all going to the same cause and stuff like that. So if you want to, feel free to do so. We're by no means like hounding for money or anything like that.
Not at all.
But if you want to, you're more than welcome to donate. We'll put the links in the description below the episode, or if you're watching on YouTube, we'll put the description below as well.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with us. This isn't anything that we're not even going to see the money. You're just going to, if you donate, it'll just sponsor our pages through DGR, and then
I'm just here for the vibes.
I'm here, yeah. So
I just want to go hang out with other motorcyclists, and
I don't know, man. I just ride here.
I want to hang out with other motorcyclists and talk to them about the bikes while looking like a sore thumb on my giant ass Tiger 900 compared to all the modern classics. Well, I guess your bike's pretty tall too. But,
no, I do stand up pretty tall.
But I do have but mine's got that wider tank and it's like pretty fared and stuff. So I just feel like I'm gonna stick out. I even made a joke in our little riding group just to see if anyone has a modern classic I could borrow for the ride, so I can fit in a little bit more, just because I like to look the part. Maybe I'll see if I can rent a bike or something, or maybe someone Eurosports.
You know what
Utah?
I just remembered?
Eurosports Utah, if you want to let me borrow a bike, I'd be very much appreciative of it. Morgan, if you're listening, please. I'm just kidding. I will ride whatever bike I can. But I am showing up this year. What were you gonna say?
I just remembered I was actually gonna dress up like for this episode to like
for
the vibe, but I just damn
that's it. Okay. It's a weekday for me at least.
Yeah.
So. And we both have other jobs, other things to do. So sometimes we just decide to record and we just go for it.
Right. Yeah. This is interesting because I've always found, or we thought, right, like motorcycles are a much bigger part of everyday life outside the U.S.
Yeah.
Like it is more of like a hobby recreational thing considered for the United States. Here, the top country for the DGR so far is the United States.
Very cool.
So
I feel like it also helps that we're a pretty large country with a lot of people.
That's accurate.
Can I look at the list of others?
Yeah, we got some of go ahead.
So
second place is England.
Let's go over the top. England, Netherlands, Australia, and Canada.
Yeah.
And we got Germany in there, Italy, a lot of European countries.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So it's
New Zealand,
and there's
Wales,
the next 20. Again, there's 120 something countries on here. But I mean, if you even look at the jump though from the U.S. race so far, $308,000.
That is crazy
compared to England, and jumping down to Netherlands from like 150K to 150,000 to 91,000.
That is very. That makes me happy to see. Yeah, that's very cool.
So good job, U.S.
Yeah, way to go. We have money to spare, apparently.
Yeah, really. So.
That's very cool. I'm very much looking forward to it. I don't know if there's anything else I have to add, considering I never participated.
Yeah, I think it's. I think we've gotten. I can't talk now. I think that we get the most engagement from listeners, from you guys, like when we do talk about like, our experiences, what's our advice,
Yeah.
And this is just something. This is to bring awareness of a good cause and
a cool event.
A very cool event.
If you're a rider, you should definitely see if there's one near you.
Well, and like with my story, with my story is like I was new to riding. You were the only person I rode with.
Yeah.
So it was like, but we live pretty, not far away, but
it's like 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
But if you want to meet some new riders and in your area too, it's just
And honestly, like whether you're like riding alone is fun. I enjoy it once in a while and stuff like that because I can just go on my own pace. Mm-hmm. And I always have my camera with me. I take lots of pictures, and whenever I ride with other people, I feel like I'm slowing them down because I will stop to either take a picture of my bike or some pretty landscape and things like that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I do enjoy riding with a small group of people or a decent sized group of people because it's just fun. It's just fun, like cruising down the canyons with few other folks and stuff, back and forth, and you park somewhere, you have a chat, you check out each other's bikes, take some photos, ride back, grab some food, talk some more about motorcycles, and a bunch of other stuff. I love it.
No,
it gives
great.
me such a fun feeling, fun sense of community, and it's cool knowing that there's like other people I can talk about motorcycles with.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's just like I think you just become a better rider with other people around too sometimes, like with the right people. Obviously, there's, some riders
we don't encourage any reckless riding on this podcast. We
Nope.
don't encourage being a dick.
Nope.
on your motorcycle. We don't encourage you doing giant wheelies down the busy street.
Yeah, if you're gonna stunt and have fun, go have fun, but I don't put people at risk.
Yeah, and don't put other people at risk. And I feel like motorcyclists already have kind of a stigma to them, especially among like drivers and stuff like that, for being reckless teenagers, reckless like annoying.
There's always somebody out there,
Yeah, I mean, but there's plenty of bad drivers out there too.
There's a lot of bad drivers.
Yeah, but
not even arguably, there's more bad drivers than bad riders.
But I feel like, at least me personally, I would encourage people to not add to that.
Yeah,
if they go on. I mean,
well,
ride your ride, have fun, but also,
yeah.
Be mindful of others around you.
Well, and I don't think it gets talked about really, is like the mental health aspect after an accident too. And that can tie back to DGR. If you're it does raise awareness, and like for me is like if you're having mental health struggles and stuff like that, like engaging in something like this charity that gives back to to a group or a population that has similar struggles. Yeah, it kind of just it does give that purpose. You know? So
no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's really, yeah. I don't really have much else to add to it other than I'll just repeat myself. Just go for it. I'd say try it. Look into it. And it's totally cool. If you're somebody who's like, oh, I'm not big with crowds or I don't like riding, that's fine. Yeah. You can even just sponsor other riders too.
Or maybe you can just meet up with them at the end, have a chat. Yeah. And stuff. You don't have to participate in the full group ride.
We usually get food after with our little groups. Yeah. Food's some of the best part of riding.
Yeah, I look forward to it during every ride.
Right?
What's a ride without getting food after?
Actually.
But like I said, or like we mentioned, you're welcome to donate to either one of us or both of us if you want. If you want to sign up, we'll put the link in the description down below as well. So if you ride,
and it doesn't even have to be us.
It doesn't have to be us.
You can. There's a random donation link. If you know somebody who's participating and you don't ride yet, whichever, donate to them. You can even hit the random donation button. Yep. Just like it. It's cool as we raise funds. Like I was very proud to be the second largest last year. But at the same time, it's like this is for the cause. This isn't for my fundraising goals. I don't care who you donate to. So go donate. But we're just providing the opportunity for you to donate.
And if you want to participate, we'll throw in the link down there as well.
Yeah.
For you to sign up, so you can participate and meet other fellow riders and help bring awareness to a cool cause, to a good cause. So that's pretty much it.
That's all I had.
Also, and if you have participated in a DGR ride before, feel free. Just a reminder, feel free to send us an email. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave a comment. We'd love to hear about your experience, or
if you have questions that we didn't touch on.
Yeah, or if you have questions, or if you're willing to share some of your riding stories. We always love hearing those.
And as always, you can even message us about our older episodes. You've got questions relating to those.
Yep. And if you have any critiques for us, we welcome those as well, because we're still learning. We're new to this, so
yeah. And I think before we do an outro, I'd just like to say too, it's on the topic of purposes and writing, we hit on it at the beginning. This podcast is awesome. I'm having a blast.
Oh yeah,
it feels meaningful to talk about bikes,
especially every time we get a new email of someone commenting.
Oh no, we always text oh my god.
Email. It's the most exciting thing. I look forward to it, and it makes me happy to interact with all of you as much as we can. So anyways, thank you again so much for listening, and for tuning in yet again, and hopefully you like this episode. Hopefully I gave you some information about the DGR, and check it out. If there's one near you, check it out, give it a try. And
other than that, I think we'll be back with other episodes, more topical and experience and
we kind of just figure this out as we go.
But stay safe out there.
Stay safe, ride safe, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.